Well, it's hiking season, so Danny met Mary Ann Bonnell at one of her favorites in Jefferson County to talk about things to remember on the trails during mud season.
Mary Ann, thank you for joining me on this little bit breezy day.
Yes, we've had some wind lately, haven't we?
Yes, we have. But you know what? That's what makes Colorado so fantastic. You just never know what the weather's going to be like. And we're talking a little bit about that today. So, you know, these months, especially in between seasons, it seems to be a little muddier on the trails.
Yes, we are in mud season, and for trails, that's a tough time of year, actually. It makes them pretty fragile.
So yeah, I think oftentimes, too, it makes it a little bit more difficult for hikers and bikers. It's hard to get through these muddy trails, right?
It is hard to get through the muddy trails, and what we want you to think about is as you're traveling on a muddy trail, you could be causing damage to the trails that you love.
Oh, wow.
And so one of the things we do in mud conditions, particularly severe conditions where the entire trail is impacted, we may close the entire park for a couple days to let the mud dry out. Okay. Because if you've ever experienced this, you can be walking through the mud or riding and you end up with 2 or 3 inches on the bottom of your shoes.
So keeping that in mind in terms of trail courtesy, I also want to talk about trail courtesy in general. It sounds like you have some new statistics for us. Tell us about that.
We do. We spent 2020 and 2021, we got a grant from Great Outdoors Colorado, and we partnered with Boulder Open Space and Mountain Parks and Colorado Parks and Wildlife to put a keen eye on our trail runners and our mountain bikers to see how they were doing for trail courtesy. Okay. And we learned a few things.
I was gonna say, you gotta tell us what we learned and what we should take away from the survey.
The good news is that both groups have the greatest of intent. They both understand that it's important to slow down and communicate before you pass someone on the trail. And what we also found out is if we put a sign out to remind people to do that the mountain bikers see the sign and actually are more likely to slow down and communicate before they pass someone. Trail runners, maybe not so much.
Okay. Sorry, trail runners.
I know.
Okay, so what do we need to keep in mind in terms of things that we should be doing on the trail that maybe we weren't doing before?
I think the most important thing is being courteous as you pass someone on the trail. And what that looks like is if you're coming up from behind, just let someone know, hey, right behind you, can I pass on the left? No matter what you're doing, whether you're hiking, running, biking, that's just being courteous. If you're coming straight on and you're going to pass somebody coming the other direction, again, some kind of greeting and just slowing down to make sure everybody feels comfortable with the passing situation. That's just common courtesy.
Yes, I agree. And I think I saw a little tool that you have that might help.
So one of the things we love is a good bell. So one of the things we learned in our research is that some people feel like, well, what if I yell or I say something? Am I going to make people feel uncomfortable or startle them? Or worse, someone's got earbuds in and they can't hear a thing.
Right.
So one of the things we love are these little bells because they're neutral. So riders have been using them for a long time. We love it that riders have these on their bike. We're asking runners now, can you put one of these on your finger? And when you're coming up behind someone, just give them a little bell. So it's not just for riders anymore, but how about for runners too? Just to remind us that anybody who's traveling at a speed differential and you're passing someone from behind, the goal is not to startle or make people feel uncomfortable. The goal is to just, again, kind of keep your pace, but let somebody know you're coming.
That's brilliant. I love that. So I'm going to grab one of those
this one fits me perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a pretty little bling. I love that.
That's right.
A bling ring. Oh my gosh, that's great. Okay, great. So we just need to keep in mind to be courteous, to make sure that we're telling people that when we're coming up behind them, we're there. And really just make sure that we're, you know, checking out all of the posted signs, especially during mud season too.
Because there may be a closure. And if you do choose to be on a muddy trail, you need to walk in the trail, not outside the trail around the mud, because then you're just going to cause more damage.
Okay, good to know.
So you're making a choice to have muddy shoes.
Okay, awesome. Mary Ann, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Learn more about proper trail etiquette, especially during mud season, by heading to JeffCO.us.